Yeah.
Don't get any closer, hotter than the stove. Gucci on my shoulders, you me in the chauffeur. Every time we show up, hey, let's.
Yo, what's up? This is Zach. Welcome to Double Drivel. You can also call me Z Money. Also call me the Reggie Miller of Hangin' Dong. My boy Dan isn't with us this week because he's busy entertaining this man at the moment. Never mind that, let's get right to it. Boston Celtics in their last 10 games are 3-7. That's good for 8th in the East. This team has looked disgusting. KG looks old. Rondo is hurt, doesn't look right now, and Courtney Lee has been just awful, and Barbosa's not getting any run. I did watch the game last night against the Kings. Jeff Green looked like he shook off a little bit of dust. You might get something from him going forward, but other than that, I mean, the truth is really the only thing this team has going for him right now, but I don't even know if this team's going to stay in the playoff picture in the East. Moving on, Utah Jazz, similar situation there, 3-7 in their last 10. They are 11th in the West, and that kind of shows you the disparity between the East and the West. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this team other than the fact I think they were overachieving early on, and yeah, they suck. They're not going to be in the playoffs. Moving on, Avery Johnson with the Brooklyn Nets is out. PJ Carlesimo is in. This move is a little shocking because Avery Johnson last month was just named Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. And PJ Carlesimo has an awful resume as a head coach thus far, so I don't think this is going to work out too well for the Brooklyn Nets. Other than the fact that Brook Lopez has been going off. Dude's 30-10 in their last couple games with PJ taking over. But I look for PJ to be the short-term answer. Maybe Phil Jackson moves in. We'll see what happens there. The Los Angeles Clippers are 16-0 in the month of December for the first time ever in franchise history as far as winning streak, and they're off to their best start in franchise history as well. I mean, it's really our boy CP3 doing it up real big. Certainly got to be at the top of MVP rankings thus far. And lastly, we've got the Indiana Pacers, 5th in the East, 7-3 in their last 10 games, and Paul George, or should I say King George, has been doing his thing. Additionally, David West has had a return to form, and these dudes are just holding down the fort until Danny Granger gets back. Bench mob! Bench mob! Bench mob! Bench mob! All right, Sexy Will Bynum down in Detroit. Last 3 games, 21 points. 50+% from the field goal and over 6 assists per game for that dude. He's on a roll. It's all because of Rodney Stuckey. If you're in fantasy, don't pick him up, but it is noteworthy. Lou Williams getting the start in Atlanta now. Over his last 5 games, 17 points, 6 dimes, 4 boards. I like that little Jerry curl you got going, Lou. And Eric Gordon is back in the league. Dude put up 20-4 and 7 in his return the other night. Only played about 24 minutes. Very impressive. If he can keep that up, I look for the Hornets to be much more competitive. And lastly, Larry Sanders of the Milwaukee Bucks. His numbers aren't too glitzy, but 8 points, over 8 boards, and 3 blocks. If you're in fantasy, this guy is just absolute gold. Fantasy fun time with fantasy. It's just not the same without him. Alright, let's do it. Fantasy fun time. Jared Dudley. I'm sorry. Just a little bit butthurt. My boy Dan's not here. I'm trying to power through. Jared Dudley, 97% owned in fantasy leagues. Dude has been awesome in his last 10 games. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on 53% shooting. Go get him if he's out there. He's on my team now. Next up, Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons. Dude has been good for 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks in his last 10 games. I mean, even if you're in leagues with 10 men, if you guys have a need for rebounding and blocks, go get him. I only look for these numbers to go up. He's a young rookie. And then lastly, my boy Isaiah Thomas in Sacramento has started his last 2 games. He's been good for 19 points and 5 rebounds. He's only owned in 45% of leagues right now. And the Kings beat the Celtics and the Knicks in those last 2 games. Makes you think. Double Drivel, holler at me. Please tweet us, get us on Facebook, and email us any questions you got.
Yeah.
Don't get any closer, hotter than the stove. Gucci on my shoulders, you me in the chauffeur. Every time we show up, hey, let's.